Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is the 21st class, I believe. Uh, we have already started with the third module in which we are studying JavaScript technology. The introduction to JavaScript class, we have studied why JavaScript is used, what is the difference between client-side scripting and server-side scripting. Client-side scripting is the code that executes on the client's machine, and server-side scripting is the code that executes on the server. Why do we need to execute code on the client? For various things. Uh, we need to execute code on the client's machine to update the user interface, getting information from the server in the background and then updating the user interface. We use client-side coding for doing validation before the data is submitted to the server. The data has to be validated. I gave you one example of registration form to check if the email ID entered by the user is valid, to check if the name entered is valid, to check if the phone number is valid, and so on. So basically, we have learned exactly where JavaScript is used. Why is client-side scripting required? JavaScript actually is very commonly used on the client side. In most of the applications you will find JavaScript, and today at least you will see more than 90% of the websites that are developed, web pages, web applications that are developed on the client side, if there is any code running, that is written using JavaScript. Nowadays, JavaScript is also used for writing server-side scripts. We are not going to learn that. We are not going to learn how JavaScript is used on the server side. We are going to learn how to write PHP pages on the server side later on. Okay, so these are the basic things that we have studied in the last last few classes. Now today we will be learning where exactly to place JavaScript. I told you, just like cascading style sheet CSS, we place JavaScript also in three places. We can write JavaScript code directly into the tags, or we can write JavaScript into the tags, and then we can write it at the document level in the script tag, which is called as embedded JavaScript. And we can also write JavaScript in external files to separate HTML from JavaScript. Normally, finally, but you have to remember one thing, that JavaScript code is embedded between HTML tags only. You can see here what I explained to you yesterday, the example that we had written. This is JavaScript code. Alert, are you sure? This particular statement here is a JavaScript code. It's a pure JavaScript code. And that we are writing it in HTML tag. And where we are writing it, we are writing it on click of this button, this JavaScript code should get executed. So when you write JavaScript like this, you call it as inline JavaScript. You call it as inline JavaScript. And the other place to write your JavaScript is, we can write JavaScript embedded. Embedded means when you write JavaScript in the script tag. Okay, in HTML there is a tag called as a script tag, and when you write your JavaScript, in the script tag, it is called as embedded JavaScript. Now you will ask me a question as to where to place this script tag. Now you can place this script tag anywhere in the HTML document. You can place this script tag anywhere in the HTML document. For example, let us say I open Sublime Text, and this is where I want to type my, this was yesterday's example, okay, where we had written JavaScript inline, okay, inside the tag we had written JavaScript. And then this was a little example where we wrote one statement, declared a variable, declared another variable which added x plus x, which was initialized to 100, and then display the value of sum. This is similar to the yesterday's example that we had written. Okay, that example was displaying only hello world message, but we wrote three statements in this inline here. So I will just go to one, I'll just copy this file. I'll just say save as, file save as, I will call this as JS test underscore 2, okay, JS test 2.html. And I'm going to make a change here. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to write my script tag, script script tag, and then type is equals to text slash JavaScript. Okay, this is how you write the script tag. So you can see my script tag has come, and in between this, I can write my JavaScript. Whatever JavaScript you want to write, you can write. Yesterday we wrote one example, no? Alert, you want to display something, so hello world, and then put a semicolon here. And then you want to write the next statement, you want to declare a variable, so you can write var is equals to 100, and then you can write var sum is equals to x star x. Okay, let me find the product of the x, and then let us say if you want to display alert sum would be a wrong variable name. I will call this as square, because it is a square of that x. And what is x? X is 100. I mean, I've initialized x to 100. So basically, I've written some JavaScript code here. I have written a little JavaScript code here. We are going to learn this syntax. We are going to learn this syntax, how to declare variables, how to use the arithmetic operators, all that. You know, by now you must have understood that it is very simple to write JavaScript code. Syntax is quite simple. Okay, but what we have written here is that we have written an alert message that will display hello world, and then finally there is one more alert message which will display the square of this 100. Okay, square of this 100 number. So 100 and 200 is 10,000, so it will display 10,000 as the output. Basically, this is what is written in this JavaScript code. Now the question is when will this JavaScript get executed? The question is, when will this JavaScript get executed? Before this, the example that we had, I'll just open that and I'll show it to you. Look at this example here. This is the first program that we had written yesterday, and this is today's program that we have written. In the first program here, you know that this JavaScript of yours, var x is equals to 100, var sum is equals to x plus x alert sum. This code of yours will get executed when this button is clicked. Okay, so when you open this page, this JS test.html page, if you open it in the browser, it will show you a button. Okay, it will show you this button on which it will be displayed, click me. And when you click on that, this code will get executed because you've written the syntax like that. You have written that when this button, there is an attribute called as on click, ONCLICK. Whatever you want to do when the button is clicked, you have to write it here. You have to write it there. Okay, so you know for sure that when this button is clicked, only then this JavaScript will get executed. Okay, now come and look at this example. Now here you have directly written the JavaScript here. Okay, there is no button, there is nothing. There is only one HTML tag, h1, welcome to JavaScript, and then immediately after that there is a script tag. And then after that, let me say that I will have h2 tag, and then I will write this is after the JavaScript code. Okay, something I'm writing in h2 tag. In h2 tag, I'm writing something. And then let us say after that, again, I can have a script tag. I can again have a script tag here. Okay, so you can have any number of script tags in your page. Okay, in your HTML page, you can have any number of script tags. So I have my HTML, my body tag, all that. And to make it a little more legible, what I will do is I'll just tab it inside. I will tab this inside and so on. Okay, so that it becomes a little more clear. So I have my body tag, I have my h1 tag, so there is a little bit of HTML. Then there is JavaScript code in the script tag. Then again there is some HTML code. H2 tag is basically HTML, you all know that. And then after that there is again a little bit of JavaScript, and then again I can have some HTML code, and then again some JavaScript. I can place any number of script tags in my HTML page. I can have any number of script tags. I can write my JavaScript. But the question still remains as to when will this JavaScript get executed? In the first example here, you know that this JavaScript will get executed when the button is clicked. But in this case, when will it get executed? Now remember, if you write the JavaScript code like this, okay, you write it in the script tag, and you write it directly like this. In the script tag, directly you write some JavaScript code. It will get executed as and when the browser encounters it. As and when the browser encounters it, the code will get executed, which means that when the page is requested by the browser, and when the server will send this entire page along with the JavaScript, whenever this page is requested by the browser, remember the entire page is sent to the client machine, including the JavaScript code. So when this page comes to the browser has to display this page to the user. So as and when the tags are coming one after the other, first the HTML tag comes, then after that the body tag comes, then the h1 tag comes, and then the script tag comes, then after that h2 tag comes. So this comes in a sequence, and in a sequence, the browser will start displaying it to the user. It doesn't take much time between h1 tag and the script tag to come. The time is very, very small, so you will not realize that it is coming separately. It will come at once only. When the browser starts rendering this, the browser starts displaying this to the user, remember that it will first display this on the browser, and the moment it encounters a script tag, it executes it. The browser suddenly, the moment the first HTML tag is displayed to the user, immediately after that the script tag is there, so the browser executes that. Then again the browser will display this to the user, and then it again encounters one more script tag, so it executes that. And then if there is any more HTML, it displays it, and then if there is any more script tag, it executes that, and so on. So the browser goes steps by step and then executes this JavaScript code as and when it encounters it. Okay. Now let us see. Now you will then have a question as to, then in that case, the moment I load this page, this particular code will get executed. The moment I load this page into the browser, the moment I double click on this and I open the page, this code should execute. Yes, of course it will get executed automatically. You don't have to even click a button because there is no event there. There is no on click event. The moment you open the page, it will start executing this JavaScript. And the moment you open the page, it will execute all the script tags, all the script tags. Why? Because you have written the JavaScript directly in the script tag. You have written the JavaScript directly in the script tag. So you can see this all is pure JavaScript code which you have written, and it will get executed automatically by the browser because the browser is capable of running JavaScript. Now let us save this program and execute this. So I save the program. What is the name of the program? It is jstest.html. Okay. So I open D drive, then here I have the folder called as web, and then I have this JS test2. So when I double click on that, the moment I open it, you can see that it displays me the message hello world. Okay. Now the browser doesn't go further. The browser doesn't go further. Why it doesn't go further? Because it has executed this. It will have to execute this and this. So unless and until I don't press on this OK button, it will not proceed, because it has to still execute these two. It has to still execute these three statements. Okay. And then after that, it will display this, and then it will again execute this particular thing. So you can see that the moment I open the browser, you can see that it displays me the hello world message, and which is, from where is this hello world coming? It is this hello world. It is that hello world, because it does this, it does that, it executes the script, it will do this, and then it will execute the script, and so on. So when I come here, if I click on hello world, okay, then it will display me 10,000. Why this 10,000 is coming? Because I have done this. X is equals to 100, then x star x is 10,000, which is a square of 100, and then I displayed the value of alert. You know what is alert? Alert will produce this pop-up, and it will not proceed unless and until I click on this OK button. So when I click on OK button, now you can see welcome to JavaScript. It will display you welcome to JavaScript. This gets displayed to you. And then after that, again, hello world comes. Why? Because this hello world is over here. Okay, this hello world. Now this is after JavaScript code that will come if I click on this. So you can see this is after the JavaScript code. So step by step, remember, the browser executes every line of HTML plus the JavaScript. So this is the embedded way of putting JavaScript into your HTML page. Second technique of writing JavaScript is by embedded technique, embedding JavaScript code in the script tag. What did you learn here? You learned that you can have any number of script tags in your HTML page. You can place this script tag anywhere you want. So if I remove this from there, if I put it there also, is fine, no problem whatsoever. I can place my script tag here, then I can place my script tag there. I can have any number of script tags, no problem. So when I save this, what will be the reference? I'll just refresh this. First it says hello world, then 10,000, and then hello world, and then after that comes. Okay, so basically the browser executes them step by step. Now the third technique of this is the second technique, embedded JavaScript. The first technique, you know, it is inline JavaScript. And the third technique is when you write JavaScript in external files. When you write JavaScript in external files, okay, you can, like how we had written cascading style sheets in external files, and then we had put them into HTML. Like that, you can write your JavaScript in external files, and you can put them into your HTML. How to write JavaScript in external files? I will write a file here. So file, new file, and then I will start writing my JavaScript here. So I can write var x is equals to 100. Then I can write var sq is equals to x star x. Okay, and then after that, alert sq. That's it. So this is my JavaScript file. Only 3 statements. What I had written here, I have written it in an external file like this, and now I have to save this. I have to save this file. Now remember, this is my pure JavaScript file. I'm writing it external. I'm not going to write it between HTML. I want to write it external, and I have to save this. When you want to save an externally written JavaScript code, you have to always save it with extension .js. .js. So I will save this file as mycode.js. mycode.js. So you can see the name of the file is mycode.js. With what extension do we save our CSS files? .css. When we used to write our CSS files in external files, we used to save those files with extension .css. But this is JavaScript, so we have to save this with extension .js. Remember that. Okay. Now that you have saved it here, I will create one more file. I'll copy that. I will say file, new file. Okay, and I'll paste that there. I will file save. I will save this file as js test3.html. Okay, now I don't have to write anything here. In inline we have to write it in the tag. In embedded we have to write it in the script tag in the same HTML file. But now what I have done is I have written the JavaScript in external file. So I want to include this externally written JavaScript into my HTML. So I write script type is equals to text slash JavaScript space source mycode.js. That's it. This is what you have to write. Now automatically whatever you have written in this external file in code mycode.js will get included in your HTML file. Only thing you have to write is this script tag type is equals to text slash JavaScript. Then you write src source. You have to tell where exactly is your JavaScript code. So you have to write source is equals to mycode.javascript. The name of this file should be written here. If you make any mistakes in writing the file name, your HTML will not be able to find your JavaScript and it will not execute. So write the name of the file correctly, close the script tag. That's it. Now let us see what will happen. File, save. Which is this file? This is jstest3.html. So when I come to the folder here, I have the file here jstest3.html. Okay. Yeah, somebody is trying to ask a question. Yeah, now Akshata is asking a question as to, sir, what are JavaScript data types? I will come to data types. We are going to learn the syntax of JavaScript. So Akshata, we are going to learn about data types in detail exactly, okay? Because immediately after this code here, external JavaScript, then we start with the syntax of JavaScript. So in syntax of JavaScript, we are going to learn variables, assignment, conditional operator, conditional what is that? Conditional statements, looping statements. We are going to learn arrays. All that we're going to learn. So in this variables, we are going to learn data types. Okay, so we will come to that later on. So now what I was explaining to you people is that how to include an external JavaScript into your HTML page. So we have written the HTML page. Okay, so we have written the HTML page here, and then we did not write any JavaScript because we have written the JavaScript in an external file. Okay, and then you can see here, this is the JavaScript code. So I've just included the JavaScript code into my HTML page. How I've included? I've included like this. A script type is equals to text as JavaScript, source src is equals to mycode.js. Okay, now let us execute this JS test 3 HTML file and see what happens. Okay, so I go there, I open the folder, and then I double click on this and I open this file. So the moment I open it, which file I'm requesting? I'm requesting JS test 3.html. Have I written any JavaScript code there? No, I did not write any code in the HTML. I have included a JavaScript file. And what is that I've included? I've included that x should be 100, square should be x star x, and it should display the value. So the moment I open JS test3.html, you can see that it displays me this pop-up message. Why? Because the JavaScript file is included in the HTML. I have requested the HTML, so it executed that JavaScript code here. And then you can see that it displays me 10,000. That is the square of 100. I say okay, and then welcome to JavaScript, it displays me. So you can see welcome to JavaScript comes later on. First it executes mycode.js, and this is mycode.js. So I hope you understood exactly how to include JavaScript when it is written externally, you have to make use of the script tag only. You have to write type is equals to text slash JavaScript, and one more attribute of the script tag is source, src. Src is equals to write down the name of the file in which you have written your JavaScript. That's it. So very important from your examinations point of view. They will ask you a question. With the help of an example program, explain the different locations or the different places where JavaScript can be written in a web page. So you should write, there are three techniques of writing JavaScript in a web page. First is inline. Write down that example of inline. This is the example of inline. Then second technique is embedded. Write down the example of embedded like this. Third technique is external. So write down an external file, save it with extension.js, and then finally include that in your HTML page. Like this. Script type is equals to text slash JavaScript, source is mycode.js. Okay, so I hope this is clear, all of you. I will go further without wasting any time. So external JavaScript also we have understood. Now let us understand advanced inclusion of JavaScript. Now this is only a small paragraph. Why they have why they have written this advanced inclusion of JavaScript is, now let us say there are some browsers in which the user has disabled. Let us say you have a web page in which you have written a lot of JavaScript. Okay, a lot of JavaScript code is there. When there is a lot of JavaScript code in your HTML page, the page becomes a little heavy, not too much, but it will become a little heavy. Now, for example, let us say that there is one user who does not have, or maybe there is a user who has disabled JavaScript in his browser. You have a user who has disabled JavaScript. When a user has disabled JavaScript in his browser, means you know that it will not get executed. So if there is a web page which contains a lot of JavaScript, when he requests that page into his browser, the user who has disabled JavaScript requests that page. Now the JavaScript code will be unnecessarily downloaded. Anyhow, he's not going to execute that because JavaScript is disabled. So now this is what is understood an advanced inclusion of JavaScript. What is recommended here is that if there is, for some reason, JavaScript not required in a client's machine, then you can include that JavaScript at a later stage, which means that first in the page, you write down some basic JavaScript only. Check in the browser if it is required, the JavaScript. If it is required, only then you download the bigger JavaScript from the server. This is what is called as advanced inclusion of JavaScript. What it means is, if your page contains a lot of JavaScript, because of so many reasons, you may not be requiring that much of JavaScript in a client's machine. For several reasons, maybe because the user has disabled JavaScript, or maybe because there is a lot of JavaScript which executes on user interaction and the user does not interact only. So unnecessarily the JavaScript will get downloaded. What is recommended is, in advanced inclusion of JavaScript, what it says is that you download the main part of the JavaScript only when it is required. So in that case, what we do, there is an approach, load the JavaScript file from within another JavaScript. In case of a scenario, simple JavaScript code is downloaded first. Only when the remaining part of the JavaScript is required, you can download that. So this is what it means, okay? And not very important from your examinations point of view, but remember, advanced inclusion of JavaScript says that when a JavaScript is more in an HTML page, you may or may not download the entire thing. You can use the advanced inclusion method and download only that part of JavaScript which is required, or sometimes don't download JavaScript at all if it is not required. So that is the meaning of advanced. Now let us go to the syntax of JavaScript. Let us try to understand the syntax of JavaScript. We are going to learn now we are going to learn JavaScript as a language. We are going to learn JavaScript as a language. We will see how to declare variables. We will see how many types of data types we have. We will see the assignment operator, arithmetic operator, relational, logical. We will see conditional statements, the looping statements. We will see arrays. All these things we will see now. Okay. First of all, the first thing, any programming language you learn, you have to start with variables. First of all, let me tell you, in JavaScript, we don't have anything called as a data type. We don't have any data type. We don't have something called as int. We don't have anything called as string. We don't have anything called as float, Boolean. Remember, anything of that sort is not there in JavaScript. Now you don't have to get scared as to then in that case how to handle integers in JavaScript. Now remember, JavaScript is a dynamically typed programming language. It's a dynamically typed programming language. It's a flexible programming language where you need not declare a variable as int or float or string or boolean. It's not required. To declare a variable in JavaScript, you simply use a word called as var space followed by the name of the variable and then semicolon. Every statement in JavaScript ends with a semicolon. Please remember that. Every statement in JavaScript ends with a semicolon. So what you do is you use a keyword called as var, okay, which means variable space x a, B, C, whatever name you want to give to the variable, you can give, no problem. But you know the conditions, the rules to declare a variable, that a variable name should always start with an alphabet. It may not, it cannot be a keyword. It cannot have special characters. It can contain underscore. It cannot start with a digit, all that you know. Okay, so you have to use any variable name, no problem. But it should be prefixed with var space and then the name of the variable. If you want to declare multiple variables in the same line, then you write var space x comma y comma z comma a b c comma semicolon, then in the end. So all variables should end with a all statements should end with a semicolon, and multiple variables should be separated with commas in between. Then if you want to initialize a variable and if you want to declare a variable and initialize it at the same time, then you write var name of the variable is equals to assign it some value 0, like that. No problem. Now you will ask me a question, sir. In that case, if I want to declare a string variable, then how do I do it? If you want to declare a string variable, you simply do it like this. I write var space x comma y comma z semicolon. So this is how you declare multiple variables. And then after that, you will say x is equals to 10 semicolon. Then you say y is equals to hello, and then z is equals to 3.14 comma semicolon. So this is perfectly all right. What you have done is you've declared three variables x, y, and z, and then you have initialized them with different values. X is now a variable of what type from the data? It is a variable of type integer because you're storing an integer in that. Y is a variable of type a string because you are storing a string in that. Z becomes a variable of type decimal or floating point number because you are storing a fractional number into it. This is how you initialize variables, and then automatically the variable becomes a variable of that type. Now x becomes a variable of type integer, but you don't have to say in the beginning of the program that x is integer. Then it becomes mandatory for you to store only integers into x. Now you can see that I've declared all of them x, y, z as variables, and then I've initialized them with different values. This is what is called as dynamically typed programming language. Dynamically, JavaScript will understand a particular variable's data type. The moment you put the value into the variable, JavaScript will understand that it becomes a variable of floating point number, or it becomes a variable of type integer or string, like that. Okay. Now this is perfectly all right. So what I will do is I will say alert x star x. So I've written this code here. Where I've written it? I've written it in which file? mycode.js, and I am doing the square of x star x. In fact, I can declare one more variable here called as square, and then I can initialize it x star x. All that I can do, but instead of doing that, I can directly in the alert function only I can write x star x because it will directly display me the square of x. Okay, so where I've written that in mycode.js, and mycode.js I've included in jstest3.html. So I go here, jstest3.html is already loaded. I will just refresh this page. So you can see it displays me 100 because it is a square of 10. It is a square of 10. Now I will do square of y. So y star y, square of y. What is y? No, y is a string. Y is a string, and I'm trying to do a square of that string. Now let us see what happens if I try to do that. I come here, I refresh the page. It says not a number, nan, it says not a number. So it displays me some error saying that it is not a number. So that's why it is not able to do a square of that. No problem. So I'm going to do z into z. That is 3.14 into 3.14. So I save that program. I come here, refresh. Then it gives me 9.8596. So it is the square of 3.14. Okay. So it does the square of that number. Okay. So you have now understood exactly What is the meaning of dynamically typed? Dynamically typed means you can declare variables and then initialize them with whatever you want. Okay, you can initialize them with integers, strings, floating point numbers, almost anything. Okay, so let us go further and see. Variable x is defined, so like this you can just go through that. It is very simple. Then they've explained what is the meaning of variable. Variables in JavaScript is dynamically typed, meaning a variable can be an integer and then later a string and so on. Yeah, one more thing, correct. Now see, what I have done here is I have initialized y to hello, and then I do y is equals to 39. Okay, I say y is equals to 39. Then I put y star y, file, save. I come here, I refresh. It displays me 1521, which is the square of 39. What I did first was I declared a variable y of some variable. I initialized it with a string. So y became a variable of type string. Then later on in the program, in between, I initialized y, the same variable y with 39. You know that 39 is an integer value, but I'm keeping it into a variable of type string. So this is allowed. This is allowed in JavaScript. Please remember, this is what is the meaning of dynamically typed programming language. You can change the value of the variable anytime you want. From a string data, you can change it to an integer data, to a floating point data, and so on. Okay, so you can change the value of that. So you can see that I'm declaring y as a variable. First, I initialize y with a string. So it is till here, it is a string only. Till the second statement here, it is a string. The moment I put some other value into y, now it became a variable of type integer. Okay, so that is what is called as dynamically typed. Okay. So that's what it is written here. This simplified variable declaration so that we do not require familiar types like int, character, string, and all that. Okay, so and then assignment statement also you people studied. What is the meaning of assignment statement? Keeping some value into a variable as assignment. So I want to keep the value 10 into x. So I write x is equals to. So your equals to sign is an assignment operator, putting a value into a variable. So that is about assignment statement. Then conditional assignment operators shown in figure. Okay, all that we will see. Then comparison operators are there. Okay, so this is comparison operators. We will come to comparison operators later on. See, the first thing you study in any programming language is the data types. The next thing that you study in any programming language is the operators. So which are the different types of operators which are available in JavaScript? So we will come to this conditional operators later on. We will go step by step. The next operator that we will study is arithmetic operators. Which are the different types of arithmetic operators? We have plus, we have minus for subtraction, then we have star for multiplication, then we have slash, and then we have modulus. We have all these different types of variables available in JavaScript. So these are the arithmetic operators. Please remember. Now let us understand this quickly and see. What I do here is I declare a variable x, and then I initialize it to 10, and then after that I do alert x plus x we do. Okay, I just want to demonstrate to you quickly what does the plus do. Plus will add up. So now it will display me 20. Okay, so I've saved the program. I come here, I refresh this. This becomes 20 because 10 plus 10 is 20. Now I put a minus here. When I put a minus, you know that what happens? It displays me 0. 10 minus 10 is 10 minus 10 is 0. Then I put a star here for that. What will happen if I put a double star? So I've saved the program. I come here. So double star. What will double star do? Double star will replicate, I think. Yeah. What is happening here? No, some value is coming. So double star, yeah, sorry. Double star is raised to, yeah, it is 10 raised to 10. Okay, the double star here, double star is also an arithmetic operator in JavaScript. What it does is it will do 10 raised to 10. So it will do 10 raised to 10, and it will find out what is the value. 10 into 10 into 10, like that it will do. So it will do something like this, 10 into 10 into 10, like this. It will do 10 times 10 raised to 10 it is, and then after that it will display you the value. So you have a double star also, which is raised to. Then you have the slash. Slash is used for dividing. And then let us see if we have something called as modulus. Yeah, modulus. Okay, 3. Okay, let us see x modulus 3. So 10 divided by 3, whatever is the remainder should get displayed to me. And remainder is 1, correct? Of course, because 10 divided by 3, remainder is 1. 3 3s are 9. Okay, I hope you understood. So modulus operator is also there. So these are the different types of operators in arithmetics that we have understood: plus, minus, slash, star, star, and modulus. Basically, remember only these many, no problem. Okay, remember only these many operators. Okay, now After that, then after the arithmetic operators, we have relational operators. Okay, we have relational operators. Okay, we have relational operators. I will do one thing. I'll create a new file here, and then I'll write arithmetic operators. We have plus, we have minus, we have slash, we have star, we have star star, then we have modulus. Then we have relational operators. In relational operators, we have to check the equals to, less than equals to, less than equals to. Okay. Then we have greater than sign, then we have greater than equals to, then we have not equals to. So these are some of the relational operators that we have. Okay. Comparison operators or relational operators, please remember they are called both. So we have equals to, then we have less than, greater than, less than equals to, greater than equals to, not equals to, and then there is one more, exactly equals to includes type this. Okay, so now there is a triple equals to also. I will explain to you what is the meaning of this triple equals to. Now this has got to do with what type of data it is. It is a string type of a data, or it is an integer type of a data. So I will explain to you this later on. So we have also a triple equals to sign here. Triple equals to is also there. So these are the relational operators available in JavaScript. And then you have logical operators. Logical operators, you know what is meaning of logical operators. The third type of operator is logical operators. Okay, so which are the logical operators? We have and we have or, we have not. Okay, so these are the logical operators, and or and not. Why do we use these operators? We use them in conditional statements. If x is less than 10 and y is greater than 10, like that, if you want to check two conditions in the if, then we make use of logical operators. Plus we also use logical operators for performing logical operations on variables. Like for example, you want to and, or you want to or XOR any variables, then we make use of logical operators. Okay, so we will see the examples of relational operators and logical operators in the next class. Okay, and then we will go to the conditional statements, if condition, then loops and all that in the next class. Okay, so we will stop here today. We will stop here today. I will continue again in the next class. If you have any doubts, please note them down and keep it so that in the next class you can ask me. Okay, have a nice day of you.